let's have some fun. I should refill my cough. What I'm doing today is I've got what I'm doing today is I got I obsess over collecting various effects or plugins, whatever. And I came across some. They look really cool. They seem very promising. So instead of me just messing around with it and trying to pretend like I know what I'm doing, I'm gonna watch. This is one I'm about to load up, Clariphonic. It's for like a Rhodes lo-fi piano stuff. I'm gonna watch videos on how people use them and explain it and all that stuff, and then I will apply that to what I'm doing. Try to get the best out of these effects. So this is called the Clariphonic. Polishing my skills. Once I create a good set, I could do a lot with it. Like my workflow, boost my workflow. And this phone sucks. Okay, here we go. I'm tired of touching that shit. All right.
Apparently, this activates the lowest band, the mid, so 800 hertz.
It's kind of a cheat to what I do is I'll look for reviews like this, and all I need to do is see all the settings and just apply that to the shit. So I just take a screenshot and then I already got it, you know. Of course, it'll probably sound a little different, but then I could tweak it from there. But my ears aren't very good. Like I can't really tell a lot of good from bad because I like so much bad and I hate so much good, you know. But I'm gonna put that right there, and then I'm gonna come over here. Oh, heartburn's coming. I can give you a little rundown of what I just looked it up. It's called Clariphonic. MKI DSP. It is a parallel equalizer, which that might be something I need in a lot of my tracks, because if I go and listen to it on a normal stereo, every track the levels aren't right. I'm not gain staging, quote unquote, properly. I need to level it out. Like I normally let the AI take care of that, but I have the tools to do it. So, anyways. So yeah, it's $200. All right, this is $9.99 or the whole package for $200. I think. It's cool how they make it look like an actual, you know, the GUI graphic interface. So that's probably the default setting, because that looks just like... Okay, not now. Never mind. Guitar. There we go. This is the guitar that I'm going to. This is a Postman guitar made. It reminds me of some bands like a lot of the usual '80s guitar playing bands. Like I don't even need to put it on it. It's so fun. What I got going here, I might be doing too much. What I did with that. It sounds like it reminds me of the Telecaster that I love. Alright, I'm gonna put the Clariphonic on it and see what happens. I should make that mono. Alright, where is this son of a bitch? There it is. Oh, I have an idea. I'm going to put it on a return track. And then I'm going to send the track into the return track and then bump it or bounce it to an audio track with wave form recording it. It's a little confusing saying all that, but that's one of the things that I don't do enough. I like mixing stuff and it makes it more noisy. Right, what am I doing? What am I doing? Trying to get that up. I'm just going to copy these knobs like a freaking genius. See what he's got switched. Here we go that way. Right here we go that way. It's called a parallel equalizer, so I guess it's equaling both sides. Alright.
But they're there. Let's just quickly explain what's happening in the Focus Engine. So these little switches here, lift. Apparently this is this activates the lowest band, the mid, so 800 hertz and up. Open down here, that activates the next band, so the upper mids, 3K and up. And then tight and diffuse. Tight is a bell curve, and now we're talking about equalization curves. And then diffuse, or diffuse, I'm not really sure. That's a shelving plateau curve. And yeah, so that's what that does. And if I hit out, that's kind of like a what do you call it? It's a bypass, so it's not working anymore. Okay, so on the other side, the clarity side, this is kind of tricky. I mean, this is one of those things that just it's better heard than explained. Some things are best experienced, and this is kind of one of those things. So apparently what this is doing is we're getting into, excuse me, super high frequencies that were fixed in and cooked in to the Clariphonic plugin here. So presence, if we had that activated, that's cutting through 5K apparently. Sheen at the bottom, if we switch it down, that's old-fashioned treble, it says in the manual, at 9K. Out is obviously our bypass, right? And then we have shimmer and silk. And shimmer refers to electricity, and they've got 19K here. And then silk is at 39K, which is kind of crazy because apparently we're only supposed to be able to perceive frequencies somewhere, you know, in the bounds of 20 to 20K, 20,000 hertz. So this is 39K. Anyway, let's keep messing with it. You can hear, now that you know what these engines are doing, you can hear it.
Still don't know what they're doing. What is he talking about? I just think my guitar sounds cool. Going back and forth with the pinky and ring finger, that's expert level stuff there. Most people will never be able to do that. Obey your master, master. Look up how to use the limiter.
So the first option we have in Ableton Live for limiting is called limiter. And if we drag that onto our master track here and just turn it off, just so you can hear the audio before we start applying it, and then I'll talk you through the different parameters. Okay, turn the limiter on. So the actual controls here, there's a input control, which can turn the volume going into the limiter up. And then we have a ceiling control, which is the maximum volume that will ever come out of the limiter. So it's slightly under 0 decibels peak. So it's gonna be basically slightly under the maximum volume available in our mix. And then we have a gain reduction meter, which is doing nothing right now. And that lets us know that the limiter isn't actually doing anything to the sound. So if I start increasing that input control, we'll start seeing the gain reduction meter showing us how much gain reduction is happening. Now, as you can hear, it's getting loud at the same time. So for a true kind of judgment between what sounds better without limiting or with limiting, what we want to do is offset that ceiling amount and try and get a rough average volume that's the same when the unit is on and the unit is off. So I'll just turn the device off and just listen to the level again, and turn it on and just match with the ceiling control. Now, the actual relationship of input and output do change as we change the ceiling control as well. You notice as I lowered the ceiling that the actual gain reduction meter started increasing and going to more amounts of gain reduction. So there's a balance between that input and that ceiling control, but I'm around about where I want to be in terms of how much processing I'm applying and then the level that it sounds to be at when the unit is on versus when it's off. So you can hear there's a difference with how it sounds, and that's because the higher peaks, the transients, are being brought down to a volume that's closer to the actual sustained sound that happens in between those higher peaks too. So we get a sense that the energy is more consistent that, for our audio that's happening. So let's have a look at a few of the other controls. There's a look-ahead meter, and this one is predominantly good if you want to avoid distortion that especially happens with signals that are lower. So I'm doing limiting at this point on my main mix, which has bass and other lower sounds in there. So if we sort of go overboard with our limiting itself, so we really hear what it's doing, we'll then start to hear the difference that the look ahead does to the sound. If you hear the rhythm of the bass, there's a lot more top end distortion that's happening coming through the limiter. So that's an extreme setting, but that kind of gets your ear tuned into the subtleties that a limiter can add, or artifacts it can add to your sound or your sound quality, and it's something to watch out for. So again, sort of going extreme at first before we apply this to a single sound. If we turn the gain up, I'm doing this as a very short release.
Yeah.